Hey there, word nerds. Today, let's talk about love. In English, we use the word love for a lot of things. I love cheesecake. I love having friends over. I love Tom Hiddleston. I love my husband. I love all these things in very different ways. This is why I find ancient Greek interesting, because they had multiple words to describe the different kinds of love that a person can feel. First, you have eros, which is the love that we are most familiar with in young adult books. This is the passionate desire for a person. Eros is often translated as the love of the body, which is fairly obvious. It's all about the sexual desire for another person. It's all about the physical feelings of love. Eros was often thought of as the inspiration that lovers and philosophers had to go out and seek the truth about human nature. You can think of Eros as the type of love that Snape had for Lily in Harry Potter. He had this longing for her that motivated the rest of his actions throughout the story. Remember it by thinking Eros sounds like arrow, so like Cupid hitting someone with an arrow and they fall deeply in love with someone. Then we have philia, which is a love that you feel for other people, but that doesn't involve passion. The Greeks thought of this type of love as very virtuous because it was similar to having loyalty to your friends and your family and your community. Philia is sometimes translated as the love of the mind because it tends to be a little more practical than eros is, and occurs when two people can benefit from that sort of loving relationship. So like two friends who will help each other and be there for each other, they have philia. Philia is the type of love that Harry and Ron have for each other, or that Harry and Hermione have for each other. That's right, philia. Platonic love. That's all Harry and Hermione have. You can remember philia because it sounds like family, so it's the kind of love you'd have towards a family member. And then you have storge, which is a completely natural affection. It's like what parents feel for their children. They have no reason for it, it just naturally happens. Storge is the love that saved Harry from Voldemort, the love of his mother, this natural, unconditional love. You can remember storge because it sounds like stork. Then there's agape, which is a very pure love. It's often thought of as the ideal by a lot of people. Like philia, it lacks the physical, sexual desire of eros. But unlike philia, it doesn't have the motivation of practical reasons. This is why it's often translated as the love of the soul, because it transcends our mind and our body. Agape is the type of love that Christians talk about when they talk about the love of Christ. In Christian theology, Jesus Christ did not die because he had any physical desire towards anyone. He didn't die because it was going to benefit him in some way. He just did it out of a pure love for other people. And of course, as Harry is a savior or Christ figure in his story, you can think of agape as the type of love that Harry had that motivated him to go out and sacrifice himself to Voldemort. The last type of love in ancient Greek is xenia, which was a very formal and ritual love in ancient Greece. Xenia refers to the relationship between a host and his guest, so it's hospitality, really. In ancient Greek culture, a host was supposed to provide food and lodging for their guests, and their guests were supposed to repay this just with gratitude and respect. You can remember xenia by thinking of Xenophilius Lovegood from Harry Potter, who did not show xenia to Harry and his friends. Anyway, those are your 5 types of Greek love. I think this is really interesting to learn about because it's often tempting in young adult books to really focus on the romantic love, the eros. But it's important that we remember these different types and include them too, because it can be really interesting, to see the love between two best friends or between two sisters, or to see a character who's willing to give everything up for other people just because they love them. Personally, I'd like to see more of the love parents have for their children in young adult books. So I hope this will inspire you to maybe include some different loving relationships in your work, And if you'd like to hear more of our thoughts on romance and couples in young adult literature, make sure to tune in this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time when we will be talking just about that. And make sure to go out and buy yourself some Valentine's chocolate. You deserve it.